Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I'd highly recommend that you start with it. This is in relation to this exercise that we're currently busy with. That is why it's imperative that you start with part 1 so you're able to catch up and see how far we are. Right? So in the previous video, we covered how to come up with this table, how to create your spacings or work out your spacings, how to draw them on Autocad, creating the respective layers, adding your values, adding your titles, and you have the option to lock your table if you do not want changes to affect what you've already done, right? So on this video, or on today's video, we'll go into carrying out calculations and how you eventually end up representing what you've calculated on this specific table. Okay, so the first thing we are going to try and represent on this table will be your VPI. Yes, no, yes, no, yes. Your VPI. You can start by representing your VPI. But before your VPI, so we're going to go back to the question. Remember, this table will be given with all the information that you have on it. So you will be given the chainage distances in meters as well as the natural ground level in meters as well. And you'll see that the first two rows on our long section are your chainages and your natural ground levels. Please do not neglect adding this information because it counts for marks. It's easy to neglect it. It's easy to decide that no, it's already there, so there's no need, but it actually counts for marks. And I'm realizing now that I may have used a text height that's a bit too big. So we can make this text height 6 just so it can correspond with the rest that we will be adding as we go along. Remember, you want your stuff to be uniform and to correspond and so on. Right, then the next step would be adding your chainage and your natural ground level, but because it will require me to keep switching between this screen and that, I will do that one off camera, and then we will proceed with the next step. So I'm just gonna pause here and I'm simply gonna add. So what you can do to make your life easy, you can copy one of these, copy them here and rotate. Then move them as close as possible to your line there, right? And essentially you can copy this for your chainages and your NGLs. Your grades will be something else. You can copy them for your tangent grade and your offsets and your final road level and your cut and fill. And essentially by the time you add those values, then you'll just be editing what's already on there. Okay, so I prefer that you do it like one row at a time, just so you don't overwhelm yourself with too much information. So that's essentially what we are doing on there. That looks like it might be enough, but remember at this point we are just overkilling everywhere. Then you can copy the same to your natural ground levels. You can just select all of them, even with the lines at this point. And you can just paste them on there. Unfortunately, it will just keep on making copies of your lines, but that's fine. It doesn't really hurt anyone. Final road levels. Then you can just come over here and delete the extra lines. We have just one row of extra lines, and that is that. Okay, then like I said, I'm gonna pause over here and then I'm just gonna quickly edit the chainages, natural ground levels, because I have to keep switching between screens. I don't have an actual paper with the information. It's all soft copy. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to add my chain edges, natural ground levels. Like I said, it's information you already have here. You fit it in exactly as you see it, okay? Exactly as you see it. Don't worry about, but what if I make a mistake? It's already there. And it's even better, you guys will have the actual paper so you can highlight as you go, just to make sure you don't actually miss anything. All right, so you can even minimize there, minimize there. The AutoCAD does not behave when you minimize. It doesn't like being minimized. It does not like being shared. It's like that one part, Nanje. So we'll minimize you and try and make AutoCAD slightly bigger. I want to try avoiding doing stuff off screen because sometimes it gets confusing for you guys. So the first chainage is 100, 130. Am I on chainages in Jenna? Yes. Oh, I'd be so mad at myself if I was doing something else. 160, 190, 220, perfect. 250, 280, 310. Let's just pan in and out. Where are we? 310, 340, 370, 400, 430, 460, 490. Hey, that can't be, is it? It is. My maths is gone. 520, and I think the last one was 550. Yeah, no, our table was definitely an overkill. So we only need all the way up to there, so we can trim. No, it's in the modify command. Everything after 550. So here, everything happening after this girly here can go away, giving us more space to zoom in and out. Okay, then that's our chainages. And our NGLs, of course, this takes a bit of time because there's your commas. 223.4. I'm just going to be silent at this point because it feels like I'm singing. And that font is a bit too big. Wonderful. Let's try text height of 5. Does it fit? I hate it when this happens. Okay, we might need to use 1 decimal place on there. And it means all these girlies we've copied here now become irrelevant because of the text height. Or we can change them later at this point to 4.5. Okay, I've entered the values. Now I think I'll just get them to a desirable text height, which I might need to apply to all of them for the sake of uniformity. What happens if I select everything like that though? This selecting one by one is killing me. Well, I selected lines as well, so this doesn't work, of course. Let's go back to the layers. Let's lock the layout. Hey, no, don't freeze, lock the layer. For fuck's sakes. Yeah, I think a text out of 4 works. Let's make this a 4. Excuse me. Let's make this a 4 as well. I think I should have a layer for the text. You can make it white as well. Let's make it current. And this is because whenever I need to make changes to just the values, it's becoming problematic. Hey. Yeah, we can match properties. This, excuse me. My nose is getting blocked. Can just make that one as well. All right. We may end up having to delete these ones after all. I hate to do this. Please excuse the background noise. Okay. Then we can lock. No, not current. I want to lock it. And we can just use the values one. Please don't tell me that. Ugh, for crying out loud. For crying out loud. It's fine. Then let's just change the text height on here as well. something like that. We want a little bit of uniformity. Okay, and I possibly wasted your time for the last 6 minutes. I'll have to crop it out. Okay,